So let's take up where we left off. With only one board member from the West Parry Sound District representing this whole area, whereas there's quite a few from the North Bay area, it makes things like the fact that EQAO tests in schools down here seem to be a little bit poorer than schools in the north, of that much more concern. Do you think it's going to be a continuous problem in that decisions will be made by the north and West Parry Sound District will be left behind?
Well, what I hope to do, and I am only one person, is that I'm really trying to promote that when we are making decisions of any educational-based problem, that we for sure invite principals, teachers, and anybody else of importance to help us with that, to come to the board, to address the board, to say what the problems are in the area, how we can better help the children, so that the other board members on the highway, I always say the Highway 11 corridor, can understand what our problems are. I don't know if this will work, but what I tell parents, and the one thing that has been nice, is that even in the grocery store, people say, "You're Linda Ann, the trustee," and I'll say yes. But what I want them to do is, at any time, and I've told all the parent groups this, I've written letters to all the parent groups, that if they have any questions, any concerns, any needs, to let me know on my email page, and to let the chair know, myself, the chair, and then we will let the board know.
But then when it comes to decisions about things like money, you have one vote.
I have one vote, so I have to promote.
You were pretty angry to discover that this was the case once you were...
Very, 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 because I don't think it's fair, but I'm stuck with the status quo, with the way things were decided before this election even came.
So you'll bring people from this area, like principals and parents, up for feedback to give their feedback to the Near North Board and those members up north, so that this area is on the radar. Is that really going to be enough?
I'm hoping and praying that it will. I really don't know the answer. I don't know how we got into this soup to begin with, but I know we're stuck with it. And as I said, I am not the least bit worried about keeping people informed, because I feel that is why the people that voted me knew that I would keep them informed, and that's the best that I can do. I know I've been very lackadaisical, it seems, to the public so far, because I did promise them a write-up in the newspaper, and I also promised them a web page, but I want to get my feet wet, and hopefully by September everything will be running smoothly so that I can get constant feedback. And I think that'll make a difference to the way we are perceived. I mean, if they're...
Strong feedback will...
If they're seeing us, hearing us all the time, then they've got to take notice.
Right. Well, here's a little bit of feedback. We have a couple questions from some of our visitors to parrysound.com. One question's from a regular visitor to our website called Grey Ghost, and he'd like to know what percentage of teaching staff at Parry Sound High School is full-time payroll union employees, and what percentage are part-time contract workers and substitute teachers?
I absolutely cannot answer that question.
You mentioned you're in the middle of a learning curve.
In the mentioning of the learning curve, I have just taken a course, you're going to love this one, in labor relations, because the time is coming for a crunch. But there also is retirements.
Right.
So
I think it's a very complex topic, a lot of legal issues and things like that. Another question comes from Eleanor, and she asks, why are there no behavior classrooms in our area?
No behavior. Oh, that was the days when they used to put students that were misbehaving into a certain classroom.
I think she's talking about focusing on certain groups who maybe they're special needs groups or.
I would think that it would depend probably more on the principal of a said school. I know that, well, not years and years ago, but say 10 years ago, that there were in the high school, let's say, like a detention room, where if you were a student that was causing problems, you were sent to the detention room. They had somebody sitting there and you did your homework. I think things like that have changed a little bit.
Yeah.
But I really don't know. I think the best thing is to sort the problems out, to have a parent and teacher student meeting and work it out that. I really do not believe in suspending kids, because I think that everybody loses.
We have one more question from Eleanor that ties into something the board's talking about right now. Is the board prepared to put more money into special education services that will directly help kids struggling with basic skills? And the reason that's a very good question right now is because as the board discusses some pretty significant cuts and school closures, some of the cuts on the table are kindergarten and special education staff and program, because they're not completely funded by the province.
Yes, any longer.
So what impact is this going to have on the schools?
This is a scary impact because, as I said at the very beginning, the government gives us money, it sounds, with very specific agenda written in the fine print. For years, the government has really promoted, and to the benefit of our kids, special needs children. And then all of a sudden now they're getting very specific on which special needs children they seem to want boards to really look into. And
So
in their
children
own
being
way,
left out of the
some of
loop.
them seem to be getting left out in the loop, like the general population is left out in the loop.
Well,
So it's
unfortunately,
scary.
we're out of time. I wish we had more time to chat. If you have any questions for our next guest, or would like to suggest another guest for our next episode, or you have any feedback on our conversation with Linda, please visit us at www.parrysound.com. Thank you very much, Linda.
And thank you.
Thank you for watching.